Thermoregulation is the process of regulating a constant body temperature. It's an example of a negative feedback loop. In a body, a negative feedback loop requires a receptor to detect the conditions within the body, and if the conditions move away from that set point, then the receptor sends messages to the body to respond. In the case of thermoregulation, the receptor is called the hypothalamus, and that is a part of the brain. The hypothalamus is here in this lower part of the brain here. The hypothalamus maintains a body temperature at around about 37 degrees Celsius. On a hot day, and when a person exercises, for example, body temperature might actually increase up beyond the 37 degrees. And if the hypothalamus detects a body temperature above 37 degrees, well, it sends messages to the body to respond. And those responses include sweating. So the sweat glands release sweat, and when that evaporates off the body cools down. Something else with the skin is the capillaries of the skin dilate. It's called Vaso Dilation. And dilation means opening up. So the skin capillaries open up and the person's face looks red. The capillaries dilate to bring more blood and therefore more heat to the surface, so the heat can dissipate off with the sweat. And the third thing that occurs is actually to decrease the body's metabolic rate. In other words, decrease the speed at which the fuel, the glucose, is burnt by the cells, because that releases heat. So decrease metabolic rate, and that's the reason why you don't feel as hungry on a hot day. So the result of these responses is body temperature decreases again, back down to 37 degrees. On a cold day, their body temperature may decrease below 37 degrees, and that means that the hypothalamus is going to send messages out to the body for the body to respond. And again, there's a number of responses. One is shivering. So shivering is an involuntary contraction of the muscles of the body, and the work or the using of those muscles produces heat. Another one is goosebumps. So goosebumps mean the hair stands on end on the skin. So the hair stands on end like this, and that traps air next to the skin. And so that air then gets heated up, and it works a bit like a wetsuit to insulate the body, and it protects it from the wind. So that's what goosebumps do. The next thing, the opposite to when it was hot, when we had vasodilation, we now have vasoconstriction, and that means that the skin capillaries close. So the person's lips look blue. The final response is actually to increase the metabolic rate. So the cells of the body burn glucose at a faster rate and produce more heat. And that is why you feel hungrier on a cold day. And so with all of these reactions, or these responses by the body temperature increases back to the 37 degree mark again.